Good morning, all of you, and thank you for coming. After Dr. Mishra's concepts, he has given you the basic concepts of analytics, and Mr. Hota spoke very eloquently on analytics and the uses of analytics. I shall try to, tell you what State Bank is doing and how analytics in State Bank has grown and is going to grow and how we are going to use it now and in the future. But first of all, let me ask you, how many of you are from analytics or working on analytics in your banks? So it will be more difficult for me. Cannot get away with, so that's what I wanted to know. So you see, you analyze all the time. Analytics today is a new medium today as a subject, but analysis has been a part of our life through eternity. When you go to office, in the morning, you get up and decide what to do first, what to do next. Shall I go slightly late? My boss is not there. That's all analytics. Today it was raining. So Dr. Mishra analyzed that it may be difficult for people to come here. So he told me, I will go with you to ensure that I do come. What I'm saying is we are analyzing all the time. You see, analytics is a part of our life. Armies analyze. And now why we have got analytics as a subject is because of the vast data available today. Data was always available. But capturing that data, keeping it, using it, disseminating it to the right people and using it and monitoring and tracking was not very possible before, say 20 years back. So what you need for analytics is, first requirement for analytics is data. And what is analytics? There was an elaborate definition given by Dr. Mishra, which was very, very cogent. But you see, analytics finally, without analytics, we don't survive. It's as simple as that. You have to get back at your customer. So customer is at the heart of analytics. What has happened today is, in State Bank, and I'm sure in ICICI, Yaspal, and everybody would confirm this, vast majority. In State Bank, it is 80% of our transactions happen through what we call direct channels, alternate channels. So 4 of your 5 customers do not come to your branch. You don't get to see them. You don't know who they are. What are their requirements? Through person-to-person contact. So you must find out what they need and deliver it to them. And you must give it in a way which is a delightful experience for the customer. And this is where analytics comes in. It's a one-to-one system of giving the customer what he wants, where he wants, and how he wants it. You see, we are in the throes of disruption. So before going into analytics, we have to understand that banking itself is being challenged by disruptors like any industry today. Today, my challenge is not going to be from, say, ICICI or HDFC. It could be from a telco. It could be from a retail industry. So we have to be, you are being disrupted everywhere. Where does this disruption occur? Look at it that way. The disruption occurs at the margins where some need is felt by the customer. So you are doing a whole lot of stuff. But there is a point where you don't do something, and that's where the disruptor comes in. Zomato will deliver food to your house. You see, there is a problem somewhere, M-Pesa. So Dr. Hota was talking of M-Pesa in Kenya. Now what has happened? Remittances were a problem for people who don't have huge means and are not very literate. But they all use mobiles. Now how to convert that talk time into money? Very simple. The talk time can be given from me to you, and you can then convert the talk time at the agent's place back into cash. That's all M-Pesa does. But it's disrupting our remittance business. Which is the biggest financial institution in the world? Can anybody tell me? Any idea which is the biggest financial institution in the world? It's not a bank. PayPal. PayPal is supposed to be the biggest financial institution on the volume of transactions they do. So that is a disruption which is happening. And it is happening all across. Who's the largest seller of cameras in this country? Who's the largest music seller? Nobody has an idea. Make a guess. Who's the largest music seller in this country? No guesses? Camera seller? No, that's a good guess, but the largest camera seller today is Samsung on their mobile. So you can guess the largest music seller now, Airtel. Those are statistics which happen, and so how this disruption is happening. Kodak actually has been one of the failures of this new age. They didn't go digital. And today they nearly don't exist anymore. They discovered digital photography, but they didn't use it. It's like the Swiss companies which discovered digital watches, but they said, "Nahi, handmade is the best." So the Japanese took over at that time. And you had citizens and other things coming in. Na? So you have to be very, very careful. Disruption is knocking you on the face, and you yourself have to understand and be a disruptor. Who's the largest seller of railway tickets in the country? Who's the second largest? ICICI is right. Who's the second largest? State Bank of India. Because we use ICICI to sell. So what I'm saying is banking is entering into areas which we never did, and it has to happen. Because banking is a service which has to be given to the customer. If you need a pizza today, what do? If it is raining very heavily, you are at home and you want to eat a pizza, or your kid wants to eat a pizza, what do? You ring up somebody, na? Domino's, or whatever, and the pizza is given. And if you need a book, you don't want to go to a shop and look for it. First going to the shop, finding out that right book. So what do? So Flipkart, Amazon, so you get that book. If you need a loan, normally you have to go to a bank. See, today, as Mr. Hota said, all of us are giving loans online against deposits and stuff. But you still have to go to a bank mostly for your loans. Banking cannot be dinosaurs, no? If everybody is getting delivery at their place, banking will also have to deliver at their place. We have to find out solutions because customers have got that expectation. Today, the world has gone digital. And they have gone ahead of us banks. Our customers are a curve ahead. We have to keep pace and serve them as they want to be served. All this will lead to analytics. You need to know what they want first. So going into the subject, what they want, how do you come to know what a customer wants and how you are going to deliver that? So to know that, you need a whole lot of data. There are many types of data, qualities of data. So for the banks, most banks, we run data warehouses. State Bank of India runs its data warehouse, which I also look after, at Belapur. We have about 500 million accounts and 300 million customers and nearly 100 million transactions a day, as Mr. Hota said. So capturing all that data, and now people expect real time. So we are actually T+0. So some days we slip into T+1 and 2. We get in data into a data warehouse on a daily basis. So 4 or 5 times a day. That has only happened recently. So we are getting in data, trying to keep it up to date and deliver it to businesses on as near real time as possible. There's a lot of real time analytics is going to be used now. Not all analytics need to be real time, but I'll come to that later. So you need this data and getting it in through 58 different source systems. We capture this data through 58 source systems of the bank like NEFT, RTGS, Murex systems, core banking being the biggest, ALM, asset liability management, ALCO. So many systems push data into you. And you capture that and you use ETL, extraction, transformation, and load to get that data into data marts, into your data warehouse, and then use that data and push it on to your business intelligence department, to your analytics department, for them to pass it on to the users in different manner. Now my data warehouse gets this data. Now so there are data qualities. There's no institution in the world which will not have some data quality issues. Because data, first of all, is captured at a remote place, pushed in through millions, thousands of users, comes to a central place. So there could be problems, there could be legacy issues. For example, in State Bank, we are still grappling with some issues like date of birth. Being a 210-year-old bank, many of our customers have not entered date of birth, or we have moved from one system to another, as I was discussing with Dr. Mishra in the morning. We have moved from one system to another period of time. From manual to bank master, data loss. Lack of time, everything is in a rush, everybody is under pressure. Kal kar dena hai, the branch has to be made live. So chalo, date of birth kuch bhi dal do nahi yaar. Or if it is a mandatory field, nahi hai to dalo hi nahi. Also, many of our Indians didn't have date of births. Earlier generations, rural areas, no date of births. PAN numbers, accounts which are more than 20 years old, no PAN numbers. I mean, you have to get hold of those guys and try to capture their PAN numbers. Is it not so? Mobile numbers. Either you don't have it for many customers who didn't have mobiles when they opened the account. You have got them now. People keep changing their mobile numbers when they move from city to city. Of course, now number portability may help us there. But since that happens, and this may not all the time upgrade, they are upgrading more and more today because of alerts and stuff. So they have to do that. But again, that is an issue somewhere, wrong entries. So these are basic things which I'm telling you. So all this has to be rectified in the data warehouse, and data quality improvement is one of the constant factors. We run something called Project Ganga, wherein we forecast all this and then chase people in to get it all done and monitor on a very regular basis. So we have 97% corrections done, but there's still some, some areas which we need to track better. So having got all this data, what other data do we need? What do we do with all this data? So I get data from all my 30 subsidiaries and associates. So what do I do with all this data? I put this data into something called a customer one view, which is the first step towards analytics. So into my customer one view, what my data warehouse does is will take your deposits, take your advances, see how many times are you tech savvy, do you use the internet, do you use the ATM, see how much do you have SBI Life, SBI General, do you do demat trading, what are the things you do, all that is captured, and then we rank the customer by giving him a score using transfer price mechanism if he's only a depositor. So I can tell you what is the value of Dhoni to the bank on a single, at this point of time. Things like that. So when we capture all this data, we give a value and we know how profitable the customer is to the bank and how it's to be dealt with. Having done that, we give him a grade to make, clustering is always a part of analytics. So we give him a grade of platinum, gold, silver, whatever. And doing that, we then run a tool, a model which all analysts know. We run models to find out the next best course of action or the next best product to be sold to him. This data is actually given to the staff at the branches on their core banking. There's a button which they click and see, and then they have to talk to the customer, capture what he wants, does not want, the next best product, and having done that, convey it back to the business. It's get automatically conveyed to the business, the loan origination system. This should be captured also as whatever incentive the staff who has booked this business to get should go. So we are working on it. It's not a finished product, except that the COV is today a finished product, and it is available to our staff. But this is only a beginning. So having done this COV, we actually now need more data. Because if I were to say, I have to give this loan, to Anmarul, I need to give this loan. My model says this is the loan to be given. The model looks into, it's a model, it looks into demography, geography, income, gender. See, all these are important factors which it considers. Why is it important? For example, a person in earning, say, 1 lakh a month in Patna, as against 1 lakh a month in Mumbai or 1 lakh a month in Bangalore, would have different requirements. A person in Patna, for example, if he say around 30, may be looking for a house. A person in Bombay cannot look for a house at 1 lakh a month, can he? I mean, it's difficult at 30. So it's difficult to get a house, so he will be looking at some other thing. He may be looking at a car to make his conveyance easier. A person in Bangalore may be most likely an IT guy. He has got chartered buses to pick him all hours. He will not be looking at conveyance. He may be looking at an Xbox or some such gadget. So it is different. The model will tell you, looking at so many slicing and dicing. And as all models are intelligent models. So they keep learning, changing the focus, and finding out what is required. So this model now I'm pushing and saying, give a car loan to Anmarul. Give a car loan. My staff is chasing. But I need more data. All the time. Why do I need more data? Supposing I get CIBIL data in tomorrow. Equifax, Experian, Highmark, whatever, no? I get this data in tomorrow. And it says ki Anmarul has taken a couple of loans from ICICI and is not repaying. Should I be pushing a loan to him? You see, so I need this CIBIL data also to understand, or big data to understand. I am pushing a car loan to him, but I have to see social media data. His social media, he may be talking to his friend about buying a house, asking a friend, which color do you like for the house? Or I have seen a house somewhere. So what happens there then? Am I pushing the right product? So I must get in more and more information, and that is what analytics does. Get more information about a person, use listening tools, scrolling tools on the online media, use your own online media presence to find out more, and then push the right product to the customer in a manner which he likes. So data is going to be the new oil, as they say. Data is the new fuel, and data has to be guarded, protected. There should be data policies, data privacy for all of us. And we should now use this data, and more data will be required, because even structured data, we don't get in all the structured data which we can, even from inside the bank, let me tell you. Today, internet banking, when I get a transaction into my data warehouse, it has 40 fields. I take only 6. Because earlier, the need was not felt for capturing all the data. Today, Vijay, sitting here, my head of analytics, insists that I give him, all the 40 fields or whatever of the fields which are required to take this forward. To get in more data of the customer to be able to sell him. And get in data as real time as possible, so that while he is doing his transactions, I can try to get down to him and tell him, give him alternatives, give him better methods. So this is what the data warehouse does. But what do I do with all this data? I pass it on, all of it to analytics. The data warehouse is the first step, but then what is the use of a data warehouse if we don't use that data? So I already do the customer one view, and the customer cross-sell is more or less taken care of. But you see, the power of data is so much that even basic statistical analytics on the data, just statistical findings would give you a whole lot of savings. I'll give you examples. In State Bank, when we started this analytics, that is in November 13, when I started this department. So in the first few months, we decided to do only a few statistical analytics, in addition to trying to learn models and stuff. So then, having gotten this statistical analytics thought, we said, let's start with some concrete ways of making money saving money for the bank. So first thing we did was, how many of our accounts in SME, small and medium enterprises, are charging less than 11%? That is not a correct thing it is not a doable thing. Because less than 11% is the minimum rate you can charge to an SME. We found 9,000 accounts. Immediately told our department, who came back in 2 days and said it's a saving of 1 crore for the bank every day. Earning of 1 crore which was being missed out. 8 lakh staff accounts without provident fund numbers. Now staff accounts get some special privileges. You know that, no? Interest benefits and things like that. Now we found 8 lakh without PF numbers. We got down to a portal and told all our staff to confirm within a month if these are the accounts or not, in failing which it will be reverted back to public. Half of them became public, were found out to be public accounts. We had 1 crore accounts without nomination. Now you all are bankers. So you know, if somebody dies without a nomination, who suffers? Tell me, who suffers if you were to die without, customer were to die without a nomination? Who suffers the most? Correct. Both suffer, no? The customer suffers, the banker suffers, the branch manager is in trouble because so many claims, disputes can happen. So we decided that we should have nominations for every one of them. 50 lakh, 55 lakhs of those are over 60 years of age in State Bank. So now how to get them nominations? There are omni-channel methods which we will come to later. So we have to get nominations for all this. So those are the small things we do. Or people not issuing welcome kits. Only 14% were being issued on an average. Today it has gone up to around 60. So why? Analyze, find out. So all this data gives you, but then what does analytics do with all this data? So first is, of course, customer analytics. See, analytics, as I said, are 4 types, Dr. Mishra said. Also, you can classify them into statistical analytics, predictive analytics, prescriptive analytics, So you not only find out what's happening, but tell what's to be done. You prescribe what are the steps to be taken to improve the performance. So customer analytics, as I told you, cross-sell and upsell through the one view is one way of going about it. But then the other ways of, say, customer acquisition. You want to acquire customers from other banks. What do? You find out which of your existing customers are banking with others. That's the first thing. And how do you do it? So how can you find out if somebody is sending money from my bank to, say, HDFC or PNB? Is there a way of finding out using automated tools? So you do data mining on the narration fields using your tool, and I get huge numbers every month, which I pass on to business of X number of people are sending home loan money to HDFC. Y number of people are sending auto loan money to Axis. I'm not naming HDFC, just ICICI, just all this around. But we do it for everybody. And I'm sure they do it for everybody. So we get down to our business and say, so many people have an account with you, but I've taken a home loan from this bank. And I'm telling you, conversion rates are immense. Not only double digits, but high double digits. You contact that customer, say, what's your problem, boss? He says, nobody told me, or I found it, I thought it would be difficult. So then they are willing to, because the main salary account or whatever is there, we do it the reverse way also. So all banks do it. So if the salary account is with some other bank, and he has taken a loan from me, I know that, doing invert clearing, basically RTGS, NEFT, ECS and all those things, I know that he's doing that, insurance. So I find out, and I tell my business that, these are the guys who have an account with somebody else. The loan is with you. So they are favorably disposed towards you. Why don't you try to book more business of this person? It works, and it works wonders. We also do, for example, customer attrition. How do you know which customer is going to sort of close his account? Can you predict that a customer, is there any way to predict a customer is going to close his account? On a general big scale, individually the BM can look into the account, sometimes maybe have a no. But how will you predict analytically a customer is going to close his account? So what you have to do is take all the accounts of the, you say fix parameters. You fix parameters of say more than 1 lakh quarterly average balance or 50,000, whatever, 25,000 quarterly average balance, and urban 18 to 60, whatever. Those are the sort of date business gives us those requirements. Now taking those requirements, we run it across accounts over say of the last 2 years, which have actually got closed. So now seeing those, first we bring out a list of those accounts and see what was happening in those accounts. So the balances fell by 80%. So some of the findings, checks started getting returned. He started drawing a lot of checks of other banks, sending money to other banks, So these are new developments before they closed. We find this out and then we run, so we take the 5-6 top symptoms and run it across our existing accounts of the same group. We find it is happening in other accounts, which are likely to attrite. So that's the time when you go down and talk to those people and say, this is, what is your problem, boss? Any help we can do to you. So customer acquisition, customer attrition, you can use it for say forecasting which loans are going to go bad. So we have done it for say auto loans. Similar formula we use, similar models, which tell us these are the accounts with 80% probability which are going to go bad in the next 6 months. And we give it to our auto loans department to follow and see why they are going to go bad. So analytics is a very, very vast area. And these are the customer things we do. There can be process analytics. So we do process analytics on say ATM cash. Now banks have a tendency of loading more cash than is required, though there is opti cash and all, because cash outs are frowned upon by seniors. So branches would rather not have a cash out and put more cash than is required. And then you have to use analytics. You have to use analytics which takes into consideration the road construction, how many vehicles you have to, who is your outside agency, and finding out, optimize the use of cash, because extra cash is a big cost to the bank. If you keep it in the bank, you get paid for it by RBI and others in the currency shares. If you put it in the ATM, it's treated as hand balance and there's no payment available. So there's an opportunity loss. So it has to be fine-tuned, and as it is a learning model. As you go along, you start learning more and more things about that. So how do you set up? So how many of our banks here have analytics? Any bank which does not have an analytics department present here today? So everybody is an analytics department, which is very good. Because without analytics, as I said, if without one-to-one, without knowing your customer, it's going to be difficult to survive. Now, what are the other things you do in analytics? So fraud analytics, patterns, judging whether a transaction is a fraud in real time, setting up rules, parameters, risk analytics, loss given default, probability of default, all that is being done by Vijay and his team here. He'll talk of that when he does his presentation, when he comes onto the panel, I'm sure. So how do you set up your analytics team? How did we set up, put it that way? So when I joined here, this department, 2013, there was no analytics. And I was tasked with setting up an analytics. So I got a DGM and I got some people from inside the bank with mathematics, economics and statistic background. We started off doing we got help from PwC in those days for a 3-month engagement to write down the roadmap. What is analytics? Because they were early days for us, at least. I read analytics at work and things like that, but that really does not answer. Finally, you have to use it practically to see how it works. So having done that and then setting it up, I needed some people I felt from the market immediately after a month or so. Trained analysts. And that time our CDO, our in charge of personnel and human resources was Dr. Mishra here. So he kindly helped me and I could get them within say 10-15 days. Those people from the market, they are professional people, analysts, IIT, IIM people, postgraduates, Indian Statistical, they were a big help. So they also started doing models for me. You need a lot of help to do these models, especially for new people who have come in and not are from the domain. So we got in our own bankers to help work with them. We set up our labs. We got people from 2 IIMs to continuously engage with us 3 days or 4 days a month on a day-to-day basis, on a daily payment basis. They would fly down from Bangalore and Kolkata and go back and tell us and guide my people to do this model. We went from strength to strength. We today do many learning models. Today Vijay has joined us. Vijay's background will be told to you. He was with Citibank till February. He was heading the analytics and now he's joined my team. And so we are getting a lot of useful, work getting done in analytics. And the business today is totally dependent on analytics, and no MD would go out anywhere to any circle or anywhere without first getting data and relevant inputs from us. So in the beginning of the month, they would send us their requirements or where they are basically where they are visiting, and we'll give them all the things which we notice about that place, that circle, what we call it, or that module or that region. So he will go on and be able to talk very relevantly and very detailed. So today when an MD is to visit somewhere, who do you think calls me first? The place he is going to visit. Kya data de rahe ho boss? Mujhe bhi jara chahiye type. So that shows the importance of data and how they are using that data. Now moving from analytics, we go to big data, which is now going to come in. So let's start with social media. Now social media is going to be needed by all banks because that's the channel of the future. So we started social media the same time we started analytics when I joined this department. We did Facebook first. We are today on YouTube, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, LinkedIn. I have a 10-member team, internal, selected by me. And we work at that. We learned a lot from our friends. ICICI was a big learning. Not only did I go to their office many times, not only did I meet their people, but also we used to visit their site very frequently. And today, State Bank, so we used, which site to select, how to do it. So for example, on Facebook, we found that one of our friendly banks, who are our competitors also, were doing very well on Facebook. So I said, but when we started, we got around 50 likes a day, 60 likes. I said, that's too little. Too little fan following, no? That won't do. If you have to catch up and become big on Facebook and on social media, you have to do things. So what are our friends doing? So we found that bank actually was doing 300 a day, 400 a day, which was organic growth, and suddenly 16,000 a day. 1 month we started, another 30,000 a day. So one particular month, I said 16,000 a day mein kya kiya tha? They said they get an iPad as a prize for some competition which they ran, or an iPod another day, iPhone, things like that. I said, let's run competitions. So that's how you keep learning. I said we tracked Wells Fargo, we tracked international banks, we found out what they are doing, and our own Indian banks, they were doing a whole lot of good stuff there. So we started using all those methods. So what do you do, for example, on Facebook? How do you increase, first of all, traction? So to increase traction, to get in numbers, you have to do several campaigns. That's the first learning. You have to provide rich and good content. So people are drawn into looking at you. So we have Feel Good Friday, where we say, what are you doing this weekend? Thursday trivia, all sorts of general questions. Motivational Monday, quotes. And of course, our bank's own stuff, which we do all the time, which we are putting there and which is drawing. We run competitions on recipes, on holiday destinations, on photographs. We put something called stamp ads. Who can tell me what is a stamp ad? On Facebook. So you see, stamp ad is the size of a stamp. It is actually monitored by Facebook, who charge you, maybe it's a different rate depending on demand and supply. So it could range from 1 rupee to 15 rupees per day per stamp ad. Not the ad itself, but the clicks on the ad. So every click you pay. So when I working on Facebook is not normal banking, in the sense that, for example, when I started State Bank Facebook, just deviating a bit, I found there are 31 sites of Facebook, SBI sites. Some of them were not very good sites, I'll put it that way, leading you to some other places. So I thought, what to do? How do I do this? How do I get rid of these sites? So I talked to a few people. Somebody told me there's a very good lawyer in Delhi, so who may do it. I talked to him. He said, okay, I'll come over. So we paid his AFA stuff. He came over. He looked at things. He said, I will write to ICICI a legal notice, and if they, Facebook a legal notice, and if they don't do it, we will file a case. So when he went, I told my team, forget him. We cannot be fighting cases with Facebook at all. Find out who's the Facebook head India. So I then called him up, and he was kind enough, said, I'm coming to Mumbai next week. So if you want, I can, drop in. I said, yeah, please have lunch. So he came in. And when I told him, he says, I'll have to get back to, my central offices in USA and get clarifications, and then we'll do it. It'll take some time. I said, boss, we don't have time, do something. Well, I'll see what I can do. Next day morning, my team came and said, our site is no more there. I said, our site has gone. Bola, all SBI sites have gone. So I rang him up. हम बोला क्या किया boss? बोला आपने बोला सब हटा देना है, हमने हटा दिया. हम बोले मेरा वाला भी आप हटा दिया. बोला कोई बात है. I said चलो, it was early days. So what I am saying is you have to think round the, get these things done. It cannot be routine banking where you push files and get back to this. So what are stamp pads? Stamp pads are the size, very small size ads, which you give to Facebook, and they decide where to put it. They decide on the basis of the clicks which it is likely to get, because they will get paid that way. So they have their own algorithms and models. So when I give them this stamp pad and say SBI home loan at 9.45, where do you think they put it? Where could they put it where it will get a lot of hits? On Facebook, where are they likely to put it? Tell me. No idea?
On the left-hand side.
Huh?
On the left-hand side or right-hand side?
But whose site? Which site? They don't put it on State Bank site. My customers already know. So where do you think they'll put it? Where will home loan customers come in? Correct. Builders, HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, LIC Housing Fund, they put it there. You see, so somebody has gone to say ICICI to have a look, buy a home loan from there. He'll see State Bank 9.4. Maybe it's a better rate, so he'll click. So I tell people, for 1 lakh clicks, people who are actually interested in getting a home loan, it costs me 2 lakh rupees. 2 rupees say average. In a newspaper advertisement, I pay crores. Thousands of people see it, who's interested in home loan. How 99% of people don't need a home loan at that point of time. This is a very relevant focused ad going to the right people. So what I'm saying is these are big things which we must look at and we must do to get traction. So it has worked for us on Facebook, on Pinterest, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'll not bore you with figures except to say that we are now ranked number 1 in the world in banking by Brand Finance, which is the most reputed ranking organization. And we are trying to be number 1 in individual department. Facebook, we are already number 1. So if Facebook were a country, it will be the biggest country, they say, and the biggest country in that Facebook would be State Bank of India. Look at it from number of followers, 5.5 million followers on State Bank. We grow around 20,000 every day. Similarly, LinkedIn, we have been honored. The head came and met us. They have invited us to the office and honored us for becoming number 1 in India in 6 months. YouTube, we have the largest subscribers, as well as the largest people who watch our videos. And the largest number of likes is what we get. Twitter, we are 3rd in the world, but number 2 in India. Somebody has the IPL property. We are trying hard for that, but they want 80 crores. So I have found out other ways. I'm looking at other ways of doing it, because that's going to be difficult otherwise to do that. And Instagram and Pinterest, hardly any bank is there. 1 or 2 banks only, so that was not very difficult for us. But now, having been there, how do I use this? Having gone on to social media and becoming number 1 is one thing. It gives you reputation, it gives you brand recognition, it helps your customers feel good about you. It gives a channel to your customers to get in touch with you, and many thousands do every day. With their wishes, with their wants, with their complaints. What do they have to say? So it's also very necessary that you have a proper mechanisms in place to handle complaints which come through social media. There are special rules and etiquettes. You don't get into engagement with the customer on social media ever, because it is being viewed by the whole world. So you take him offline, talk to him, give him your phone number immediately, get in touch, ask him to speak to you, try to resolve his problem. If you give it to another department to do it, follow up with that department to see that he doesn't repeat that complaint on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn. So then every of these, like Facebook, has their own rules. LinkedIn is a different ball game. Twitter works differently. Yesterday we were ranked trending number 1 on Twitter because it was our birthday and we had put some tweets there, and several ministers have written congratulating us. So we are retweeting those messages. So that gives traction on those fields. But having gone there, what do we use it for? Now we have to generate some revenue out of it. After all, the bosses, bola kharcha karta hai, paisa kidhar hai? So whatever. So we have to get money. And it's a customer channel. So how to, first of all, use it internally for our use and externally for the customers to use. So internally, there are lots of uses. I'll tell you one use we have put it to, for example. If you have taken, we have something called scholar loans in SBI. Scholar loans are loans of high value, say 25 lakhs, 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs for students studying it abroad, or IITs, or IIMs, or ISB, BITS maybe. So, we give them loans and most of them repay. Naturally, large, vast, 95, 96, 97% repay. But there are always a few recalcitrant borrowers who have not repaid. Now, what I do is, I take their details, date of birth, and name is all you require to go to the it.gov.in site, the income tax site, and find out more details about them. If you have the PAN number, you can straight away do it. If you don't, they will give you the PAN number with these two details, and you can see some details, his addresses and all are current. I cross-check that, for example, with census site and People Live. There are sites available which allow you to cross-check and confirm that he's the same guy, the details, the addresses and all are more or less in line. Using that, I actually go to the credit bureaus to see if he has any other loan, just to find out more about him. It's all available on payment. And the next step is I go to Facebook. Now they're all on Facebook. They're IT guys after all. I am guys. So they have to be on Facebook. And also mention that I am IT, so I am so-and-so, ISB so-and-so. Now having seen them there, what do? So I first of course, congratulate them for doing so well and working in Ottawa for IBM, say. And then I say, we have an engagement which has got disconnected. So could we renew? So over the past 1 year, we've recovered over 30 crores. You see, abroad, it is very, very wrong to have a loan and default. Or the companies, international, multinationals, don't like you to be a defaulter. So once I write to them and say, you are in this country and you are working for such a firm, very politely, they immediately, more or less, how shall we put it, cough up. So there's one way of doing, using the social media to do business. Now, how about letting the customer do business through social media? Here the front runner is Jaspal, Pockets, very good product they have. So we have learned from that. And yesterday we have launched, we feel a slightly more richer product because we have the hindsight of learning from that called Mingle. It's only launched yesterday. So there will be some teething troubles, I'm sure. I'm checking with my team all the time to see which problems are happening. But Mingle is basically you can do transactions through Facebook and Twitter. Send money. So we use Mr. Hota's IMPS for doing it. So you don't actually, you feel you have not left Facebook and you are transacting because the youth, the younger generation is coming through Facebook. So allow them transactions, allow them all banking facilities finally through social media because that's where they are going to spend their time. You see, so social media is going to be a very, very powerful very, very powerful tool as the days go by. And social media will be accompanied by things like Google Watch. We have launched a watch banking application also yesterday. So you can use a smart watch to do your transaction. You have to link it only once to SBI anywhere on the mobile. Because our mobile is also a very powerful tool again. So not for analytics, we have 38.5% of the mobile customers in the country, which is more than our national market share. But going on and on, so using social media, not only what we have on social media, but the whole social media world at large, you have listening tools. We use Social Echo, Brand Watch, there are many. So you use these tools to capture details of anybody or anything. You give mentions, you say Arundhati Bhattacharya, how many people talk? Banking loan, bank, housing loan, bank, how many people talk today? Housing loan, bank, SBI, housing loan, bank, HDFC, how many people talk today on the social media about this? The data is given to you by those listening tools. You can put in other parameters if they put amount. So you give these mentions, they will give you a report at the end of the day. How you use it is up to you. So all this is analytics coming in. Google Analytics gives you a whole lot of information about who's visited your site, what have they done, how long did they stay, machine learning. So many things happen and are happening in the social media world, and the banks have to gear up and take that and use it as an analytical input to go forward. We also have to present this data, these findings to our staff as well as our customers. So to the staff, we are doing it through the COV on the deck. But how to contact our customers? How do I tell you that I have an offer for you? So today we use Unica, a campaign management tool from IBM. We send around 50 lakh emails per day, 40 to 50 lakh emails per day to various customers for various products, telling them how and what are the next, using our next best products. We convey it to them. We have to track and follow how much gets converted. We run campaigns. Arrow campaign, 5% off on State Bank debit card, 10% off on, today we have a Flipkart campaign, 10% off extra on whatever you buy from Flipkart. So we have made tie-ups with Amazon, Flipkart, Snapdeal and others for exclusively, giving more discounts on our cards, debit cards especially. Credit cards have their own ways of doing it. In fact, yesterday we have tied up with Flipkart, what Mr. Hota was saying, for pre-approved loans for Flipkart customers. So we have already pre-approved on the basis of the data available with us 1 million customers, who if they go to Flipkart and buy something will get instantly a loan from us, EMIs. So Flipkart is also very enthused. Mr. Sachin Bansal was there and we were chatting with him and he was very, very enthused. He says, I look at it as a very, very big opportunity. This is the first, this sort of arrangement which has been done in the world. So I look very positively at, going ahead and getting something out of this. So what is this? This is the power of analytics. Because I had analytics and I could find out which 1 million customers to approve who are, so many parameters would have been put, no? They have taken loans from us, repaid well, their income, so many things. And now we have pre-approved them. So as soon as they go to Flipkart and pay something, they'll say, do you want to pay on EMI? 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, whatever. What are the rate of interest? Everything is given there. It's the same as a personal banking rate of interest today, OD interest. But what I'm saying, the analytics allows me to do this today, to give detailed stuff to all my people, including mass scale, using clustering, using other means to find out who needs what and how to go ahead with it. So the power of analytics, now how do you also use all these analytics to convey to your 250,000, 220,000, 30,000, 40,000 people who work for State Bank of India? So we have something called a business intelligence department, which actually now, for example, it will tell you on a drill down method, who is, for example, which branch, what is the productivity of the branch? In the sense that it does not measure productivity per se, but it says how many people logged in today, didn't log in today. How much is the overdraft going up? Day-to-day basis, branch-wise. So you can compare. The circle head can compare for his different networks. The network head can compare for his modules. The module head can compare for his regions. And the regional head can compare for his branches, and branch managers themselves can see why it has gone up today. Why has my NPA gone up today? We have targets. The RM will monitor anything which has gone up over 1 crore. If his region, any branch has gone up over 1 crore, he immediately gets down to the BM, seeing this dashboard, and telling him, kya hua, what has happened to a branch, who's the customer who has defaulted, why is he defaulted? The reasons are also given. You can drill down up to branch level and say stock statement nahi diya. Now, is that a reason for somebody being NPA? You have to run down to him and get a stock statement, no? Nahi diya cannot be there. So, what I'm saying is it's available on a daily basis, real time, for people to access this and take necessary action. So, we are now going in for further work out here. Visualization tools from Tableau, Microsoft Dynamics, Click. All this helps the BM or the user or the tracker or the monitorer to get it in a much more clearer concept. This visualization is very important in today's world because so much information coming in, it's very difficult for it to register and retain all that. Visualization like heat maps and other pie charts and all help you get it very quickly into your head and target the most appropriate areas for immediate action. So we are working with KPMG today. Prashant is here to, get into a CRM tool. We unfortunately don't have one. We have been talking to our friends in ICICI, Amonti and all, Munish, HDFC and Jaggi earlier. So all of them have helped us, on the tools they use, what it does. We talked to Gartner. We have done our RFP. We have selected our vendor. And we are planning to make it all omni-channel, as many of them have gone some way in doing. So what is omni-channel? Can anybody have an idea of omni-channel? What does it mean? I'm sure most of you know. Why so much hesitancy? Dr. Mishra said it all should be participative. So what is omni-channel? Can anybody tell me? No? I'm sure so many people in this room would know what is omni-channel. See, omni-channel is all channels together, the same experience to the customer or the users of the channel by the bank to give him the same experience or pass some information on to him. So for example, we are doing lead management through CRM. Now first of all, you do lead management on your own. But with the omni-channel and the CRM concept, you can do lead management much better. So today, if somebody were to say, ring up my call center, and I get over 5 lakh calls every day. If somebody were to ring up the call center and say, sir, what? He gives in tip in and says, so I know who he is. And then he says, what is your rate of interest on home loans? And I say, whatever, 9 point something. And then he puts the phone down. Now what do I do? So Vijay is working with his team and we have already developed a whole lot of pre-approved loans. So this chap, immediately we find out or we pre-approve a loan from him if it's suitable and say now you're entitled to a loan of 40 lakhs. Now how do I communicate that to him? So now it becomes omni-channel. So everybody is aware automatically in an automated manner that he has a pre-approved loan of 40 lakhs, including CIBIL, everything is checked. Now what? So he comes to the ATM, say. So that's a part of one of our channels. He does his transaction. As soon as he's over with his transaction, it will come on the screen. Sir, are you still interested in the home loan? We have a pre-approved loan of 40 lakhs. Click yes, that's all, no? I have his mobile number and stuff, if he says yes. He comes on online SBI. Click yes. State Bank anywhere. Click yes. So the same thing everywhere. Basically, and our branch channels. Everybody should be aware that this is the product which we are going to give him at that point of time and do the sale. So CRM is going to be the next big facet, and beyond that in analytics what we are doing is we are creating Project Impact. These are internal names. These are only names. So Impact, what it does is it is going to help us cross-sell and cross-service across all our 30 subsidiaries. So if you were to walk into SBI Life and take your life insurance policy, the life insurance person will be able to offer you a SBI home loan or a mutual fund or a demat account. According, he'll ask you, he'll see the next three best products to be sold to you, offer you that, tell you I can do it right now, get the form filled, sir. You wait if you want somebody to call at your home, whatever you want. The next step is leave it, we'll serve you. You just want it, you tell us. You feel the branch manager has not behaved properly with you, tell me now. I'll get in touch. Right now I'll get in touch with him, or I'll get in touch with customer care to talk to him in your presence right now and see that he talks to you instantly. So those sort of things are coming and will come for all banks, I'm sure, as we go and mature on this path. So we are going for the omni-channel and the impact. We are also setting up something called a marketplace in a true form, which will also be a digital bank and which will also be a super financial store. So that is also, we have already selected our vendor partner for that. And we start planning to roll it out where apps will be available, where people can come and develop their own apps. While Flipkart and all our partners will be there, new people can come in, there will be some gatekeeping. And all the things they do there, including visiting other bank sites, which we will allow. So all that will be data from analytics. Saying he's a good customer, he's buying a costly, whatever. He's buying an iPhone 6, then he's paying from so-and-so bank, whatever. So, that's information to me. What I'm saying is a good customer and he has come to our site. So he has some connections with us. And then what about taking this engagement forward with him? So there's a whole way to go. And I don't know, how much time do you have? Over 5 minutes I have. So now I'll have to now draw my, thought processes to a close. So I was seeing if I can tell you. So now looking into analytics, what we are planning to do is, because all this big data is coming in, and big data is one area I have not touched. So big data, the 3 V's and all are well given. But we do use that CIBIL data. We use, for example, not CIBIL, but another credit bureau data to find out which of us. So we find customers who have taken small loans from us several years back, less than 50,000, we have written off. In many cases, some loans are written off. For whatever reason, we couldn't recover. Now today Vijay and his team talked to one of these credit bureaus. We did an RFP, got the lowest rates, per account kitna charge karega. Today they have given us list of these. We gave them these names and addresses, that's all we had, some village. They not only told us that this man is the same guy, or this is the guy, he's still there, and he has 3 other accounts with you in 3 other banks, running credit deposits. Can we not recover the money? Or he has got deposits with, or he's banking with other banks also. So that sort of information is made available through our tie-ups. All banks, I'm sure, working on product per customer and how to increase it. We have monthly reports on products per customer, which customer, different segmentations, how to follow it up. And a whole lot of new models are being developed to do new things. But big data, to capture the big data, you cannot store it in your, what we run is PDOA, Pure Data for Operational Analytics, a system from IBM. Other banks also use this. This is the latest technology available. We have upgraded into it. Because of a huge database, we need advanced, methods of capturing the data and keeping it there. But big data, fuzzy data, unstructured data cannot really be used on a data warehouse. First of all, it is a costly storage and they are not built to do such things. So we are looking at a data lake. So we have progressed some way. We have engaged consultants, a niche company called Quadratics to help us out here. Also Percipient, another company is helping us. We work a lot with startups, by the way. So we have a startup day every month where we meet several startups and talk to them and then take the engagement forward where we feel. So we have now got an idea of what we need to do, how we need to do it, but now the actual roadmap and plan is being worked out by Vijay and his team. And we expect to do our RFPs and all maybe this month to kick off the whole big data project. Because a data lake will have to be created where all this will be stored. But once we create a data lake, should we subsume our data warehouse into a data lake? Is it doable? Well, BSE has done it. Bombay Stock Exchange has done it. They have 40 TB of data, which is not small, and they are totally on Hadoop, using R and all. And their CIO, whom I met, I am on the same committee as ICICI. People are there, and so he was also there. There's a 6-member committee of ICICI looking to data stuff. Munish is there. So those are so there. He told us 6 months back I've done it, and he says I was very scared when I did it. Everybody told me DB2 se ja raha hai on Hadoop, with your whole data warehouse, Bombay Stocks, and something goes wrong. Does it work? Does it not work? Today, he says, I parallelly carried out on both 6 months. Today, I've closed that, DB2. So it is all doable, much cheaper, much faster. So we are going to take steps towards looking into whether we can also do, because it's the age of agile. Is it not? Agile in technology, because analytics also has to help needs things in an agile manner. So we cannot follow, if I were to get an order from business, ki ye mera kar do, I cannot tell, say TCS for core banking partner, isko kar do. They will say it will take 6 months and all those sort of things. No? So now we have to have an agile, service-oriented architecture with agile technology and working on top to deliver maybe in part or fail quickly and go to the next stop. So all that agile will do process analytics of all these things and tell us how fast it is working or how fast it is not working. So there's a long way to go. We are looking at Internet of Things, as I told you, the blockchain or the fitness band. So many things are available. Blockchain is going to be a next big thing as far as processes are concerned. We are looking at blockchain. How bank and robotics, another big area which is going to come up. There will be pitfalls. Today, if you have read the newspaper, one Tesla car has crashed and one person has died. But those sort of things will happen. But then, we have to go ahead and move. And lastly, I would like to thank IIBF for giving me this opportunity. A very advanced organization. We have all grown up with IIBF. We have all given our Indian Institute of Bankers exam and have been certified or not certified. In the state bank, it is compulsory to pass those exams to get your further promotions. Also, other courses, cooperation and development, I have done a few of them, earlier. Unfortunately, I've given up now. But IIBF has been at the cutting edge, and under Dr. Mishra's leadership, they are going even further, they have launched a website. They are doing analytics stuff. So, a whole lot of new stuff is happening, and I know Dr. Mishra is very dynamic and a very strong team with Swami and everybody, I'm sure. I wish them all success. And thank you so much.